Meyer, welcome to All About Property.
Thank you very much.
Now, when it comes to buying a home, there's a whole conveyancing process that needs to take place for home ownership to move from the seller's name to the buyer's name. Just give us a brief summary of this conveyancing process.
The conveyancing attorney is one of the most important people that play a role into the whole transaction, because now we receive a sale agreement, or sometimes called an offer to purchase. We take that agreement, we first read through the agreement to make sure that the document is completed properly. When we do a deeds office search, we find out that the seller is actually indeed the owner of the property, and then from there on we start looking at what do we do now. The next thing is to secure the finances of this transaction. So we find out how will the buyer pay for the property. Sometimes there's a deposit to be paid, sometimes they need to apply for a home loan, and sometimes the cash transaction. When you also find out if the seller has existing bond over the property, and then we start with a process. We apply to cancel the bond, we apply to get the purchaser to issue a guarantee to secure the purchase price, and then we start drafting the documents.
There are three sets of attorneys that's involved in this transaction. The bond attorney, the cancellation attorney, and the transfer attorney. Just explain to us what each attorney's role is in this whole process.
Yes. The first transfer attorney is the one that actually acts for the seller and the buyer, but normally the seller appoints the attorney. So they have to prepare all the documents.
That's the transfer attorney.
That's the transferring attorney. So they have to prepare the transfer documents to go to the deeds office. The transfer attorney will also write a letter to the bank, and then the bank, which holds a bond over the property, needs to issue cancellation instructions. They then appoint their own cancellation attorney, and the transfer attorney will then liaise with the cancellation attorney or the bond cancellation attorney to issue guarantees. Once the guarantees are issued, then they sign the consent for the cancellation of a bond, and that guarantees normally come from the bond attorneys. So the bank also issues their own attorney to register the bond.
What costs can a buyer and a seller prepare themselves for?
The cost that you have to pay, you've got to find that out in advance. Then the seller, if he has a bond over the property, also has to pay the bank's attorneys a bond cancellation fee. That's roughly between 2,500 to 3,000 rand. So that's also a cost that the seller must actually absorb in the selling of a property. Then the purchaser has got two types of other fees that he has to pay when he takes up a bond. The one is a bond raising fee, roughly about 5,500 rand, and then the other big...
And that's payable to
the bank.
Okay.
So that's a bank administration fee.
And the bank charges that on top of the loan amount?
Yes, because let's say you take out R1 million, sometimes they can incorporate that amount into your bond amount, or sometimes they ask you to pay it up front. It all depends on the agreement with the bank. Now then the next fee will be the conveyancing, the bond registration fee, the conveyancing fee. So the attorney that's appointed by the bank is entitled to his fee on the bond registration fees as well.
Now let's get back to the whole transferring process. The seller received an offer to purchase. Why is it advisable that he consults his attorney, his transfer attorney, before signing this offer to purchase?
It's one of your biggest investments you will ever make. Why just sign the document and hope that the estate agent didn't make a mistake? And again, it puts pressure on you on the respect of delivering your guarantees. Quite often people come to me and say, no, I didn't sign a legal agreement, it was only an offer to purchase. But an offer to purchase, once accepted by the seller, becomes a legal and binding document. And if you then walk away from that deal, you can lose your deposit, you can be held liable for breach of contract. So it's so important to understand what you're signing, and therefore we really advise go to a legal, get legal assistance or an attorney, and they will really be able to assist you.
Let's say there are no delays. How long can this process take?
It ought to be quite a quick process. The biggest delays we actually find are the municipalities delaying the issue of rates clearance certificates. So you'll find that all these documents can be processed within most likely a month and go to the deeds office, but the average turnaround time for registrations are anything between a month to 2 months. That is if you don't pick up any delays or problems in respect of documents that are lost or SARS that gives you a problem in respect of issue of a clearance certificate. So average, I would say, 1 month to 2 months, your transaction ought to be through the deeds office.
Now, you are the Managing Director of MDW Attorneys here in Cape Town. Tell me about your full service offering to buyers and sellers.
We offer the normal conveyancing services, but over and above that, which really excites me in dealing with my clients, is that we started assisting clients with home ownership education. We assist them with applications for government subsidies. We also provide online education for first-time buyers, and we also developed a tool called and a product called Rent to Buy Finance. So we are really there to able to assist and provide a full range of services. And we pride ourselves that when a client comes to us to sign documents, they walk out and they say to me, Mayor, I've never seen an attorney that actually provides a service. And I walk out and think, wow, this is an exciting job. I really enjoy what I'm doing, because people will come in here and they're intimidated by talking to attorneys. And when they leave here, I feel like we've built a friendship here. For me, that is, I always see it as a client for life.
Thank you very much. Lovely
Thanks,
chatting
Cornelius.
to you.
Lovely, thanks a lot.